This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. Use the links in the description to visit their store. Hello everyone, we are doing another Bloomburrow draft. You know, blue-red has been kind of disappointing, and this card didn't look like incredible anyway. Green-white I do think is really good. I don't know how much I like the idea of first picking a multicolored rare. We do have Intrepid Rabbit and Flame Cash Gecko here as well, which are both really good, I think. I'm sort of leaning towards taking the gold card. I mean, he's good enough. You end up with lots of tokens and lots of rabbits, so Finneas is pretty good. You know, the rabbit is probably almost as good, like the Intrepid one, but I do think Finneas is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good enough card to take there. So, Blooming Blast is pretty good. This rare, not so much. You have to end up in, like, the right deck, and even then it's not anything special. Probably just take a Moose. You know, it's nothing special. It's just a big flash creature, but that ends up being pretty good overall. Okay, we have the red-green signpost, and I like red-green a fair bit. Some good blue cards here, like Dire Downdraft and Dazzling Denial. But yeah, I don't like... None of these blue cards are enough to pull me into blue. I'm more interested in picking up a signpost and seeing if it's open, because it's a pretty good one. Alright, here's Carrot Cake, which has really overperformed, I think. It's been a very good card. Teapot Slinger's good, but I think the Carrot Cake is just better. You know, it just does so much for the amount of mana. And if we're in green-white especially, we're going to like it a lot, but it's good in all the white decks, so... Okay. There is a Take Out the Trash here, which is really good. Don't think Stocking the Pantry is particularly good. The Cultivator, if you're in, like, exactly black-green is good. Scales of Shale, if you're in black-red, is good. Mediocre blue cards. I mean, I think I take out the trash. It's not really clear. I mean... There hasn't been anything that really is going to keep me from moving into any particular color right now. Like, none of these picks have been like that. We have good cards. We don't have any cards that are, like, insane. So, I think we take out the trash. You know, Thornplate Intimidator is not bad, but, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this... It is strong when you can get it going, but I haven't been that impressed with the deck it's for all that much. I do like the Huskburster Swarm if you're in black-green, and that's not outside the realm of possibility. I think it's what I'm going to take. It looks more likely we end up there than it does in, like, a deck that can really abuse Harnesser of Storms. I mean, it's not that likely either, but I think this also has a higher ceiling. So I could take my first... I mean, you know what? I'm going to take a Rabbit Response, actually. It's a card I'm going to end up playing in green-white. Okay, so there's some nice green cards here still. This one's pretty much only good in exactly black-green. These two are fine in any deck. I think the Bodyguard's slightly better. It's also a gross combo with Carrot Cake, because you can sack the Carrot Cake for the forage and get the token without having to pay for it. We'll take Cash Grab. I mean, you got to end up in black-green pretty much for it to be worth it, but we could, you know, so... Yeah, Dire Downdraft is definitely the best card here. I like Glide Dive Duo too, actually. Yeah. You know, whatever we take here, it's not going to be in a color we're in right now, so... I mean, I think I'll take a Mascot here. It has a useful creature type. It fixes our mana. It's not exciting, but it's fine. Same for Dazzling Denial. Yeah. Okay. Well, pretty good blue card here is our rare Thunder Trap Trainer. Pretty good black card. Couple of pretty good black cards here at Uncommon. Hazard Root Herbalist is pretty good. So is Banishing Light. The Herbalist gets really good in green-white, but it's pretty good everywhere. Brawl's not bad. I like Oklahoma Village, too. This pack is good in general. Pack one, pick one. I think I'd be tempted to just take Fell, but it's close. Like, Banishing Light and all of these are pretty close. I think I go with the Herbalist in the end. Yeah. Like, if we're going to be in green-white, that's going to work out pretty well. Now, Dream Dew Entrancer is pretty good. And, you know, I don't love splashing in this format, but it is worth splashing. That's the warning tornado siren here in Oklahoma, not the actual real one, the drill. To make sure the siren works. Could just take another carrot cake, too. But the Entrancer's pretty good. I think I'm going to take it and see what happens. Like, it'd be okay to splash that, I think. Okay. The Duo's not bad. The Druid isn't either. I think we'll take the Druid. Maple's Metal's a nice trick, especially in red-white, but it's good anywhere. Parting Gust isn't bad either. I'm leaning towards the Gust, yeah. Okay, Clifftop Lookout's pretty good anywhere. Banishing Light's nice. It does feel to me like we're sort of solidifying into a green-white deck that might splash Dream Dew and Trancer now. I think we like Banishing Light a little better than the other options here, which are all fine, but... Head of the Homestead, yeah, I'm happy with that. We do need more low drops, ideally. Hey, there's a Seasoned Warren Guard, which I think we want. We have enough tokens to have it be a 3-2 pretty often. It's a really nice one-drop. Works better for our deck than Sunshower Druid. And even though Rabbit Response works in our deck, I don't really want... Like, having more than one isn't super ideal. Just because it's so situational. Alright, Squire's fine. Alright, free carrot cake works for me. I need 2 drops, and it's going to be good in our deck. We already have a bunch of payoffs for tokens and going wide and rabbits, so it is exactly, like, if they're going to get past to me that late, I'm just going to keep taking them. That's for sure. Most of our deck is, in fact, rabbits. Nice. I mean, this is definitely better in red-white, but it's pretty good here, too. I mean, turning a token into a 2-2, for example, is fine. You know, it gets really silly in red-white. Here it's merely, like, pretty good. Right now, I definitely don't have the mana to splash the Entrancer, and there's a decent chance things stay that way. Like, prioritizing fixing in this format generally isn't awesome, but if you're in green, you know, you've got a chance just because you know, the 2 mana 1/3 that taps for mana is good in any deck and stuff like that, so... Okay, well, if Dream Dew Entrancer wasn't enough of a reason to splash blue, Castrol, it definitely is. Even if that's the only bird, and right now it's pretty close to being our only bird, it's great. Like, your opponent has to kill it or they lose in most cases, so it's definitely worth picking up here, especially when what we're leaving behind is like a Life Creed duo. This does make me want to prioritize fixing more, which I don't normally do in this format because... the incentives usually aren't good enough, but Dream Dew Entrancer plus Castrol has me wanting to fix, for sure. Alright, well, Pawpatch Recruit is excellent. Definitely taking it here. No fixing, I have to give up for it, which I would. I would take it over fixing at this point, because it's that good. Just the bodies. It gives you 2 bodies, and then if you have anything else on board, your opponent's removal gets really, really bad. Okay, so the Curator... it's good, but it's not amazing. Wolverine, same. I'm kind of thinking about Root Weaver over those 2 cards because of our situation with our mana. It's not something I would normally do, but we do need 2 drops, and we do need fixing, and this is this is a card that does both, so I think we're just going to go for it. Here's another one. There's also an Uncharted Haven, a Carrot Cake, Mist Breath Elder. These cards are all things I would play. Kind of leaning towards another Root Weaver over the Haven. Like, I'd rather have creatures than lands for fixing if I can help it. Okay, Druid of the Spade. I think we take another Carrot Cake, though. Pawn Prophet's a little tough to cast, but I don't think we're taking anything else here. So, Heaped Harvest is kind of interesting. It's not a card I like normally, but it does mean, like, if I take it here, I can run 2 really powerful blue cards and not have to worry about it. So I think it's what I'm going to take here. Run 1 island and we're there pretty much. Okay, 2 really good tricks here. There's a mascot, but we're good on fixing now, I think. Although, maybe if I have a second mascot, I'll feel less... Yeah, if I have a second mascot... You know what? I'm going to take it. I feel better about having 2 mascots than having to run that food that I don't really want to run, the Heaped Harvest. Yeah, Mentor. I mean, it's not good enough to further stretch our mana, but we'll take it. Nettle Guard is perfectly fine. Wow, free Hivespine Wolverine works for me. I was a little sad to give one up earlier, but we got one anyway. First picking Finneas worked out. It's not always going to, that's for sure. You're not always going to just have green-white be plenty open and get lots of good green-white cards and, Rabbit Synergy and 3 Carrot Cakes and like it's not always going to work out, but it did. We're only running 1 island. Most of our fixing... Yeah, I think that's what we want to do. It does... we have 2 Root Weavers and 2 mascots. Those are our main... Those are our fixing for these 2. I do think we'd need to run 1 island. Even though we don't have a card that will fetch an island, I think we still want to run 1. So it's a question of... I think it feels like... Do I want more planes? Probably not when some of our fixing is Root Weavers. So I think it's a pretty even split. And yeah, I think it's worth splashing these. I think our Squire is the only bird we ended up with. But like I said, Castrel's good enough. If I just had one of these, I might be a little less inclined to splash. But gaining access to both of them is a big deal. All right, we do need to cut a few cards. The players aren't great in this deck. So that's probably one of the things we cut. The Squire's not amazing. Of course, neither are the mascots. But I do think I'd rather run mascots than that 3 mana food, like I said. Cutting the last card. I mean, Nettle Guard's not amazing for us. It's okay, but it might be what I'm supposed to cut here. It's not a rabbit, it's not a token, it doesn't make tokens. And like the Moose and the Wolverine are both good enough that I definitely want to keep them. So I'm thinking Nettle Guard. Yeah. Alright, I think this deck looks pretty good. Let's see how it fares. Oh boy. Well, we have all our colors. Got a 2-drop. That's sort of like, the bare minimum for a hand, but only having 2 non-lands is kind of rough. But, like, there's only 12 lands left in our deck. I mean, I think it's a keep. As long as, I mean, If I didn't have a 2-drop, it'd be an easy one to send back. And, yeah, but I think, as long as half the cards we draw are spells, I think this hand ends up being pretty good, because we can cast all our spells. Alright, we're off to a decent start. Blinking Hivespine Wolverine with Parting Gust isn't the worst thing in the world. Okay, now we basically have a 3-drop, too, so I can live with that. Because we play this next turn, we've already got something in play, and from there, things go okay. I think. Slash hope. Can't block this turn, obviously we're taking 3. I hope they don't kill my Root Weaver, just so that I can get this down, and that means if they point removal at anything, kind of looks like they're about to kill our Root Weaver, though. They were hovering over it, that's for sure. Don't kill the Root Weaver. Okay. You played a thing that can't block. I don't hate that. I can actually attack with my Root Weaver here. Next turn we could play the Wolverine. Yeah, so we're going to attack for 1. Is there something they could do with 1 white? Sonar Strike is 2 mana, so... It is a pretty bad feeling when you play against Paw Patch Recruit and they have something in play other than the, you know, the token and the non-token. I'm trying to decide if I want to block Nettle Guard here with my token. I kind of don't hate the idea. Now, they could have a trick. I think I'm going to go for it. See what happens. Okay. That's worth it. I mean, we trade the token for a card. Sure, we don't have the Recruit's trigger on the board anymore, but that's kind of okay, I think. Okay. I'm probably supposed to play the Wolverine here. So we're going to put the counter somewhere. It's not that good on Paw Patch Recruit is the awkward thing. Might just put it on itself. I mean, a 6/5 is pretty good. Yeah. Although if I'm going to blink it, I kind of want to put the counter somewhere else. I don't know that I am going to blink it, but I might. I could attack with the Recruit here and consider just trading it off. We kind of get a 2-for-1 that way. It's not the worst, but it's probably better to just play the Wolverine. Put a +1/+1 counter on... Yeah, we're going to go... we'll put it on the Recruit. We're not going to attack, though. So I can blink the Wolverine at instant speed... potentially, and put another counter on the Recruit, which I think is pretty good. Yep, we take 2. I'm a little surprised they're not doing anything. So I'm going to attack with our Wolverine. Let's see what happens. Nice thing about the Recruit is if they point removal at my Wolverine, I get the counter even if I blink it. And we're definitely going to blink it. And we're going to put the counter here. Also play out our mascot. A 2/1's pretty good here. Yeah. So put the counter. Let's just keep beefing up the Recruit since it's got trample. They're still at 19. Ooh, yeah, that's a little less than ideal. We're going to discard a card. Okay. Carrot Cake does kind of make our lives easier. Because we can sack it for free to the Viper trigger. Yeah, so let's attack... our Wolverine. And let's play Carrot Cake. Yeah, we don't want that. Need to find one of our really powerful cards somewhere. So right now, if I kill the Viper, they can get it back. But it'll take them like a whole turn. So don't know that I'm too upset about that. All right. So we're going to sack Carrot Cake and discard a card. Gonna bottom that. Do I try and kill the Viper here? Or do I just chump it? I kind of need to try to kill it so that I can reset the counters at least. Oh, crap. No, okay, good. We do kill it. That part's good. That's a lot less good. Yeah, I don't like that. Drop them to 13. We're going to take 8. Drawing a flyer is pretty good. They decided, I guess they'll do this at the end of their turn, probably. End of my turn, rather. So, I have a flyer. Does 3 damage on its own. Trying to decide how I should attack here if I want to find a way to do lethal. The Wolverine's definitely attacking. Yeah, so let's attack like that. Drops him to 5. Play our Squire. I'm kind of hoping the one card they have is a dud. And that they're just going to get their Viper back. Yeah. That's promising. Uh-oh. Looks like they can do something else, though. Maybe not. So, obviously, we discard. That part's clear. But if they attack us here, we can do lethal, probably. Maybe, probably. Okay. So, I think that means we block the cleric, and then we have to block this. Yeah, that's game over. Yeah, just that Viper coming down when it did, and it just was never... Made it very hard for us to find a way to win. I guess if we draw removal here, we win, huh? As much as I'm complaining. Okay, there's a chance. You're not removal. We'll scare him, though. We were within winning. I mean, I don't know why they didn't play their Viper, though. Why would they play that instead? I know not. Because if they play the Viper... Well, I guess we were still a removal spell away from winning, but a lot more removal spells can kill a 2/2, so... Bummer. That hand ended up working out okay, given what it looked like at the beginning. Okay, so this time we don't have all our fixing, but we have some scries and stuff. And we do have one of our bombs this time, which we didn't really see last time. Oh god, now we have both of our blue cards. This is where splashing can go wrong. Gotta dig for that blue mana. That's not blue mana. We don't have double white either, so it's pretty easy to bottom it. Yeah, don't love that. Okay. That is blue mana, so obviously we run it out there. Yeah. I'm leaning towards sending in this token. And then playing our Root Weaver. So that means we can play one of these next turn if the Root Weaver still lives, anyway. Kind of looks like it might not be. Yeah, that's gross. That is a gross play because it just buffs everything. Kind of makes me feel like I need to go the Dream Dew and Transfer route here. Because it's big enough to... Castrol's pretty big, too. Castrol this turn, maybe the Moose next turn. Trying to decide if what I really need to do is just tap this thing down for a bit so that we have time to get these out there, and that probably makes the most sense. Yeah. Yeah. And we'll end our turn. It's just going to keep getting bigger, too, and we don't have any way to deal with that right now. Ugh. That almost definitely means they have Crumb and Get It. But I think we make them use it. Yeah. Okay. So now I think we leave up mana for the Moose. Since it might let us ambush something. Castrol does give us a chance to start drawing cards and maybe find a way to get rid of the Mentor, but if they just remove Castrol before combat, it ends up being such a beating that I don't think we can do it. Alright, so that probably means they have another Crumb and Get It, and they know they think we have the Moose. But Crumb and Get It, at least they'll have to give us a gift here. Okay, looks like it actually worked. This Breath Elder's pretty gross with Intrepid Rabbit. Pretty gross. So I think we attack with our Moose, because if they want to kill it, they have to block with, like, everything, and that obviously makes their board way, way worse. So... Then we play Kestrel. Probably should have buffed it, I guess. But I can crack Carrot Cake at the end of their turn now, which I don't hate. The life gain will help us. But yeah, they're going to start bouncing Intrepid Rabbit, recast it, make another body. I guess they wanted food more, or to spend less mana. Ooh. Okay. I think I like that. All right. So trying to decide if I want to play the Wolverine in the first main phase. The only thing is if I draw... There aren't that many better things I can draw off of Castral's trigger. So I probably should play it in my first main phase. Yeah. And we'll put the counter on Castral. So if I buff this to 7, they still have to block, like, with a bunch of stuff to kill it. So I think we do it. And it has Vigilance, so if they don't, yeah. Like, you know, they can throw a 4-4 and a 3-3 in front of it, but that means this is a 4-4, you know? So it's like... That's the downside of Burrow Guard Mentor, is... You can't block. Even when you have to, you can't. So... Also... Okay. Yeah, they decided they really want to hold on to Mistbreath Elder. So, yeah, I want to kill these most of all. They go down to 10. We draw a card. Now they go back up to 13. So they can do the Sun Shower Druid thing every turn, which is something. But I don't think nearly as good as Intrepid Rabbit or... yeah. Looks like they might crack their village. I wish I had a village. I mean, I was going to say, I block Mistbreath Elder if it attacks me here. Okay, how many cards do we have in our graveyard? Exactly 3. So, here I think buffing Hive Spine makes sense. Puts it out of range of Sonar Strike, for one thing. No. Now I wish I'd buffed Castral. Okay. Yeah, that buff is a good one too. So do a 4 to that, 2 to that. Yeah, okay. We do get rid of everything but their moose. How many cards in my graveyard now? Man, I'm 1 card short. I mean, I think I'm probably supposed to just try to go wide here. Yeah, rabbit response is on the bottom of our library, but going wide here still makes sense. Like, if they brick on draws and stuff, we're in pretty good shape. So we're gonna do this. Freaking Galewind Moose. So, not that we have any way to get anything back from our graveyard anyway, but now we have to deal with a freaking moose. We do have plenty of removal left in our deck. And if that moose is gone, like, we're kind of in business. Hey, there's some removal. Yeah, that's definitely what we do with it. Enjoy your fish. And then I just swing with everything, I think makes the most sense in terms of doing damage here. Drop them to 6. I don't need you drawing cards that give you value like that. Come on. Alright, well, that's annoying. Wonder if they swing with their fish. Now we just have a bunch of 1/1s, so... yeah, I think we just swing with everything again. I was going to say, it's kind of interesting they're not killing our duo. That Lupin Flower Village is really sad for me. Because it means they're, at some point, going to cash it in for a real card. Probably much better than any random, you know, than the random card on top of our deck. I haven't seen anybody whiff with it yet. This would be a nice time to see it. Man! Not only did they not whiff... oh, man. Why are you only showing up now, buddy? So, he is going to buff these 2 tokens. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, not quite. Not quite what we needed. We're probably going to have to wait a little while. Because, like, yeah, I could attack with him here. Buffs both of these to 2/2s. I guess he trades, buffs 2 things to 2/2. I can't be that upset about it. But I'm also not in a hurry to do it, because it's just not that good. Like, I think I need to get more of an advantage than that. For one thing, like, drawing a card off of the attack trigger would be good. Oh, hello. Now that's the kind of advantage we're looking for. So, he's going to attack now, and so are both of the tokens that can attack. That'll get me to 10 power, because he buffs all the rabbits and tokens, not just the, yeah, not just the ones that are attacking. Finneas is going to die, of course, but he's going to trade for a couple of tokens, or they're head of the homestead, so it's not that bad. Or just 1 token, yeah, they could do it that way. If only I'd drawn a trick. Do we even have a trick in this deck? That is something this deck could use. So if they're trying to keep as many bodies as possible, probably means they have rabbit response or whatever. Okay. We will kill the token. Then we'll play Carrot Cake. Bottom that. End our turn. We'll crack the cake at the end of their turn. We're just trying to get 3 damage through, so that's why attacking with Finneas there and throwing those tokens at them was probably worth it. I wonder if a 3-tree root... Nah, they would have just blocked with an 0-2, so... Yeah, okay, so we definitely will take removal here. I mean, it's not the most exciting removal. So if I remove a creature and swing out, how likely is it? I mean, it's way more likely we do lethal, that's for sure. But it's probably not that much more like... I mean, we already have lethal in most scenarios here, so they've got to have something here. It might be another moose, in which case being able to just hit it with Banishing Light would be great. So I think we just swing out here and be ready to play Banishing Light if we have to. The defensive rabbit response. We drew really well there late, like drawing Finneas and then Herald, Head of the Homestead back-to-back. Or close to back-to-back was pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. If this hand had a forest, like, replace one of these with a forest, this hand's, like, insane. But I do think we have to send it back. Because not only do we need a forest, we need a lot more than that for this hand to come together. Oh my god. Down to 5 we go. Alright, this, as far as 5 land hands go, this one's pretty good. So, 5 card hands, I mean. So yeah, we send back the moose, because it's forever away from being played. And I'm sort of thinking I'm going to send back the druid, too. Although, the bodyguard's not going to be great, because I'm just going to be playing it as a 2-1. So maybe it's better. Yeah, we'll send the body. I could send a land back, but that seems kind of dangerous to me. Although maybe not really. Yeah, let's send a land back. With the Root Weaver in our hand, I think we can get away with it. Mulling to 5 isn't where I wanted to be. Well, if I draw land, I would be able to attack next turn and put a counter on this, but that is an if. There's also a pretty good chance Finneas just eats a removal spell. But I guess if he doesn't, like, we're in pretty good shape. Although we do need the land to actually get the counter. Yeah, maybe I want to play the Root Weaver a little bit more. Because also just playing this as a 2-1 and a 1-1 is actually pretty good next turn. So, let's play the Root Weaver. It's not that likely Finneas could get in for a hit if they don't do anything anyway. Like, I'd trade it off and get a counter. Yeah, well, now it would have been... Now we know it would have been even worse than that. So, that's good to know, I guess. Yeah, I think we play our Druid. Gonna need some 2-for-1s or insane value to... Well... Them playing that card helps a little. Because I don't think it's especially good. It just seems like it's too slow for the format. Okay. So I could make a counter here and have this become a 4-3 trampler, but it's going to get in for the hit anyway. Yeah, I'm probably still supposed to do it, though. I can also play Finneas first so that I get counters later. Yeah, I don't hate that. Alright, so let's attack. And then we will play an Offspring. We're just not going to get to the point where we can do anything better than a 2-1 and a 1-1 anyway, so... Yeah, it's going to be a 3-3. And that's indestructible now. I think I block Vine Reap Mentor if it attacks me. Okay, not too bad. I think I just play both of these out and pass the turn and hope they don't have removal. I guess attacking with my token isn't too bad here, but it also means I want to have a counter for Finneas next turn. But I may not be able to attack with Finneas next turn anyway. Yeah. If they want to trade their Overseer or any of these for it, that's fine. And if they want to take two, obviously, that's fine as well. Yeah, this is a pretty gross engine. It's one of these cards that's only good in one deck in the format, but it's pretty good in that deck. It's better than this because the thing it asks you to do is actually one of the deck's themes, first of all, whereas this asks for counters. And it's better than... and it also doesn't cost mana. That's a key thing as well. Ooh, now a Finneas attack is really worth it, even though he's just going to die because they have a 4-4 who can block him. But just like last game, now we suddenly have a whole bunch of stuff. This is going to get in there, too, because it's going to go up to a 5-4 Trampler. It's probably where I'll put the power from our Herbalist, too. This isn't really worth attacking with here, unfortunately. It will be more so on a future turn. Yeah, another rabbit's nice. Not that Finneas is still going to be alive to talk about it, but... That's the second time in a row we've drawn our one Head of the Homestead when we had our one Finneas in play. That's the kind of thing that can make up for us mulling to 5, that's for sure. We suddenly have this very scary board. Yeah, I kind of figured they'll take down the Druid. Works for me. We need our mass pump spell. Yeah, they can start drawing cards now. We've reached that stage of the game. We do have the mana for our blue cards right now. So drawing one of them would be pretty good. Okay. Well, let's see what's on top of our library real quick. Okay, I wouldn't hate destroying Stocking the Pantry, although by the time I destroy it, probably won't have any counters. Either way, we're pretty happy to draw Hivespine Wolverine in, like, most scenarios. So, I think we send in our Head of the Homestead and buff it. They can block with their Druid of the Spade or whatever, but that's fine. As long as we're getting one creature off of their board with each of our attacks, I think we take them. And then we'll play this. See if this ever gets another counter on it. May not. Ooh, if they have the recursion spell, that's not great. We do have a really wide board, so we can sort of chill for a while, but it still wouldn't be great. Yep, they've got it. Yep. We'll probably be blowing it up now to keep it from drawing them any more cards. Alright. It's almost tempting not to crack this because we know we're not going to scry the thing to the bottom, but we have the mana now, so we're going to do it. Alright, so before we do anything else, let's send in a token and buff it with our Herbalist. Then we'll play Hivespine Wolverine. And we will destroy target artifact or enchantment. They could still draw with their Bone Cache Overseer, unfortunately, but at least we got rid of one thing. So we're waiting on our Mass Pump spell. We know it's not in our bottom two. And we can just send in a 2/2 Death Toucher every turn for the foreseeable future, which is pretty good. But now they can tap their Overseer, pay a life, and draw a card, which is not ideal. We started at a card disadvantage in this game, so them drawing cards, extra cards, is not really where we want to be. They did have an indestructible attack there, so it's a little interesting they didn't take it. Drop them to 11. Play our Squire. I mean, at some point we'll just be wide enough to kill them, although we have to account for all the food they have before we can really think about killing them. So now, buffing, sending in the Squire and buffing it probably makes the most sense. Won't gain Death Touch, but the only thing they have that can block it is a 2/4. So Yeah, they've drawn 8 more cards than we have in this game between our Mold of 5 and their value engine nonsense. Yeah, that's annoying. I'm thinking I'm just going to lose the life. We have a lot of permanents, but I think we kind of have to have a lot of permanents. Yeah, they have tons of food, so they can just take a lot of hits, even when it looks kind of sketchy. Oh, they have a trick here. Yeah. Yep. Alright, well. At some point, they're going to swing at that 9/9 and, ugh. Alright, more carrot cake is helpful. Makes it... Ooh, the Entrancer is good, because if I can tap that 9/9, we're kind of in business. Like, at a minimum, it buys us more time, and at a maximum, I could use it to draw to as well, but if I tap the 9/9, I have lots of things that can attack. Oh, I should have attacked with the Death Toucher there. I sort of forgot about that game plan. Should have thrown a 1/1 Death Toucher at him. Just to continue to whittle down their life total. I could lock this down too, but the 9/9 is what really concerns me in terms of an eventual lethal attack. So... which is also why I'm going to go ahead and gain the life here, even though we're once again not going to put the thing on top on the bottom. Alright, so lock that thing down. Then we send in a Death Toucher. Do I also want to attack with Hivespine Wolverine? This will only become a 3/2. Albeit, yeah, I could buff it. I do think we attack with the Wolverine. Yeah, I'm not going to buff it, though. Yeah, we're going to do the Death Touch thing. I'm sure they trade off for the Wolverine, but I think that's good news for us if they do. You know, it is hard for us to block Rush Shield Rampager right now. It can attack us right now, and the only thing that can block it is our Entrancer, and our Entrancer can't kill it, so... Oh boy. They did it again! Yeah, so that Rampager can hit us for 4 quite easily. Whether it does, I don't know, but... yeah, they realized it just as I did. Yeah, so we're going to take 4. Now that they killed our Wolverine, definitely shouldn't have attacked with my Wolverine now that we realize the Rush Shield Rampager thing. That's for sure. don't think there's any way we can win without killing that Rush Shield Rampager. Yeah, we're going to take the 4. Just what I wanted. All their stupid food. Probably means even Rabbit Response can't kill them, although I would basically wipe their entire board, probably. You know, apart from that 10-10. Yeah, so we got a block now with Entrancer. I really need to draw something that can block the Rampager, basically. That's what we're looking at here. You know, given that we mulled to 5, the fact that we put up this much of a fight is kind of a victory, but not really, though. They're down to 8 cards, which is kind of funny. Okay, well, life gain does get the job done to an extent in terms of not dying to Rush Shield Rampager, but that 12-12's probably attacking us too now. Yeah, I have a feeling we're dead. They send the 12-12 and the 4-4 and the rest of their board at us. Is there any way for me not to take 7 damage? Well, they didn't send it at us. We just bottomed a couple lands. It makes me feel a little better. Oh, there's a Banishing Light. And we have to use it on that freaking Rampager. Not on the Dre Leader. They have, what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blockers? Yeah, we have nowhere near enough to just send everything at them. This little 2 damage we've been sending at them every turn is the only thing that has their life total not at like 30, you know? Let's hope they don't have Overprotect or something. They are down to 7 cards, but I still think they've got a pretty darn good attack, like, because of the Dre Leader. It doesn't automatically kill us the same way that the 4-4 that we can't block can, but it gets pretty close. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. They got us. I'm attacking, you know, I doubt anything will come of it, and I'm sure they know that. Although they have to block like I have Rabbit Response. There's like no way they can't. And but they know they can survive it too, so. All right, I'll stop wasting our time now that they've blocked enough things. That was brutal. attacking with my 5/4 when I did was not wise. I mean, the best it could do was trade with that thing, but that was way better than the other card could. Our deck is pretty good. Even though we're 1 and 2, I think it has proven to be a pretty good deck. Just its capability to go wide and attack with lots of things. There's some nice synergy. And then we keep getting hands like this, which some of it's maybe that our mana base is mediocre. But, like, we've had some pretty bad luck in terms of mulligans and what our hands have looked like. I do think this is a keep. I mean, we have to hope that we don't draw a bunch of lands that aren't islands. But there's a good chance we draw more real cards, so I think it's fine. We also had a 1-drop, which I think makes it easier to keep. Although if we keep drawing lands, we're in for some trouble here. Unless it's an island. If it's an island, then great. If we draw an island, I'll be very happy. I don't think did we have one hand I felt good about keeping or didn't have to mulligan? Kind of don't think we did. Okay, not an island, but it does give us the mana we want. And we can even play around the counterspell in the format, so for now. I mean, if we try to play one of these, we can't. That's pretty spicy, so a non-creature spell right now does a lot of work for them. That's for sure. Oh, yeah. Attack for 6. Do I need to play Dreamdew Entrancer first? So next turn they're going to cast this, and it's going to buff their whole board. This is definitely, like, to make the blue-red deck work, you definitely need, like, Storm Chaser's Talon and Valley Floodcaller, and they got it. It doesn't feel like the Entrancer will stop stuff from untapping and whatnot, but it doesn't feel like it'll quite do enough. I can play Kestrel here and attack with the Mascot, and if they don't block it, I get a trigger. It would mean I can't play Dreamdew Entrancer if they do block. But I kind of think that's worth it. Nice. So, put a +1/+1 counter on each bird I control. Is that better right now than draw a card? Gives me a 5/6 and a 3/2. I think it might be. It does put Castrol well out of range of, like, a whole lot of stuff, too. Like, the 5-mana spell that does 5. Yeah. We're going to go with counters. Isn't that interesting? They would need a lot, although I guess not really. Just the I kind of think just taking it is our best bet. So if they cast a spell, well, I guess if they cast a spell, it ends up like doubling all the damage. Ugh. So I would end up, like, let's say they cast a single spell here. I end up taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They cast 2 spells. I take 5. Well, we add 3 to that, basically. So it would be 10. I'm going to do this and cross my fingers, I guess. I don't know what else I can do. Looks like they might have that deal 5 I was worried about, which this is a way better outcome. Putting the counter on Castrol gives us a way better outcome than we otherwise would have had. Because they would have just killed it and attacked us for a bunch. And my Warren Guard wouldn't have been able to do anything. At least in this case, I kill an otter and they play a spell. So... okay. I can live with that, I think. Okay. Kind of does feel like I need to play Entrancer now if I don't want to die. Although, I guess if I don't attack, although, how am I supposed to not attack with 3-tree mascot? I'm way too greedy not to. Yeah, okay, let's replay Castrol. Because it means they have to find themselves another way to get through Castrol here. Ugh. I guess they might have it. I'm pretty okay with that, too. Although, less so now that I drew what I did. Dream Do Entrancer on my own thing to draw 2 cards. Kind of looks appealing right now. Though, I guess there's something to be said for just freezing this down and trying to kill them with Rabbit Response, like, next turn. Yeah, I don't hate that. Doesn't take a lot for us to kill them with Rabbit Response here. Like, if they play 1 blocker, we can probably do it. If they play 2, I don't feel as good about things. Unless they're tapped out. Okay, they did only play 1 blocker. It's kind of an annoying one, though. And if I don't kill them here, they definitely kill us on the backswing. But let's find out what happens. Looks like we got it. Yeah, that one did not start well for us, but Castrol definitely won us the game. I mean, you know, it never got to attack, but we got 2 bird triggers out of it that ended up really mattering, and they had to 2-for-1 themselves to kill it. And they also, I mean, almost more than that, because they also used Run Away Together to get rid of it for a turn, and they had to bounce their own token when they did. So, like, you know, didn't do any damage on its own, but having that changeling ended up really mattering in that game. All right, now this is a good hand. I think we probably play... Well, I don't know. I'm probably supposed to play a Root Weaver on 2. Yeah, I think we still do, because we can... next turn, we can play Carrot Cake and another Root Weaver if we want to. Okay. Kind of think we play Finneas and Carrot Cake now. If I play another Root Weaver, I can play Castrol next turn, is the thing. So, maybe Finneas and Root Weaver is better. Yeah, it probably is. Got a Shoreline Looter coming our way. Run away together. Bye-bye, Finneas. Alright, so yeah, we're just going to slam Castrol and say, can you do something about that? Their ability to loot does increase their chances of being able to do something about that. It should be noted. Yep. Well, that's how you're going to be. We're going to attack with one of these. Then we're going to Carrot Cake. Druid of the Spade does not seem bad on this empty board. Yeah, we'll play Warren Guard. Having a hard time deciding what to discard, which can be a good thing. But it's often a bad thing, because it means I have so much good stuff that they're like, I don't want to discard anything. Yeah, that's pretty big. That is pretty big. I'm gonna hold on to this for this so that the scry is more meaningful. Adding another 1/1 to the board right now doesn't really make a difference, I don't think. So yeah, I mean, they're doing a pretty good job of keeping our board clear. I mean, they killed 2 threats that they had to kill. Meantime, they're looting away. I do love that card. So far, I mean, it doesn't feel like there's too many pingers in the format for it to be bad, which is what can happen with 2-mana 1/1s. Because it delivers enough value that it just being unblockable and drawing you a ton of cards is great. Oh no. Oh, okay. But you killed your Shoreline Looter too. Interesting. And I drew a really good card to draw in the aftermath. That's also really good right now. Yeah, so we could... I think we try and wait it out so that we can buff both, and we can, so we will. The fact that they lost their looter too made that a lot less painful than it would have otherwise been. And that I drew Head of the Homestead, obviously, like that. Yeah, Mind Whisker is pretty nasty. You have a free attack here, yeah. Free attack. Huh. So we might be able to find lethal at some point, even with 0 X's over here. We attack with Head of the Homestead for sure. I don't think they block. They'd be kind of crazy too. I do think we have to fire this off and just make one of them big, but that's probably okay. One more card in our graveyard and we could do both, but we're not quite there. And just going wide when we have Rabbit Response in our hand is pretty good. Just imagine if this thing wasn't in play. Then it would be pretty easy for us to do lethal. Right now, it's not so easy. They did not want to mill that card. Wonder what it is. Oh, gross. That's probably what it was. And now they have 2 free attacks. So we take 7. How much can I do here, even with my board lockdown and everything? Intriguing. I think that probably means we're supposed to wait one more turn, unless I have lethal here. Let's do some math. We don't quite have lethal. Theoretically, they block Head of the Homestead, and then they take... Because I have to tap one of my Root Weavers for white mana. So yeah, we don't quite have lethal here. Let's hope they don't make us discard the only card in our hand. Drawing a Plains would be a big help because then I wouldn't have to tap a Root Weaver for white mana. Am I brave enough to go to 1 here? I don't think I am. There's just too many cards that could ping us for the last 1 damage. But can I do lethal now? These two have trample, which actually comes up now. So, I mean, I have lethal on this board as long as they don't play another blocker. If they do play another blocker... They could have a trick, they could have a ping effect, but we kind of need this many bodies. I'm gonna just take it. I think we lose if we block, basically, so I think we had to just take the hit and hope they can't do one more to us. High risk, high reward, I think. Because if they play a second blocker after that, after we lose one of our creatures, it's just game over entirely. They have so many cards in their hand, too, I mean, there's a good chance they mess us up. Or kill us. But if they could kill us, they would have done it by now, I think. I think they would have just killed us, right? So... But now we get the bodyguard untapped, and we have 2 extra bodies. Like I said, a plains would actually be a pretty good draw here. Just because 2 more damage out of our creatures is a big difference. Makes me wish I'd played both rabbit responses the way the last couple of games have gone. It's just such a bad card, though, if you have it early in most situations. Like, it's not like that one a couple sets ago that had Investigate stapled to it, which made you feel not so bad about using it as a normal trick. This has Surveil or Scry stapled to it, but that's not that good. What are they doing here? They have me worried. Well, maybe they disconnected and they can just do 1 damage to us. This whole time we've been thinking, well, maybe we're at least going to get to attack them. Oh, yeah, they can kill us. We would have died even if we blocked, though, because this does 3 to us. So, sad day. Yeah. So at least we would have been dead either way, you know? What did we do? 3 and 3? It's not so good. I don't think I've had a losing record in this format yet, but I think I've also only had like 2 7-win decks, so it's been a weird format where I haven't drafted a completely disastrous deck, but I've had like 3 3 and 3s and a couple 7s, a couple 6s, I guess, somewhere in there. It says waiting for server, but... Oh, that was a losing record. How about that? So 2 and 3. That was a really long 2 and 3. Those games went a long time. So there's my first losing record. There it is. All right. Pretty good deck, I think. I mean, you know, it felt pretty good for going 2 and 3 especially. So, and I think splashing was the right choice. I think we did a decent job of it. You know, those cards kept us in games. Although maybe if our mana was better, we would have been able to win games instead of just staying in them. You know, hard to know. But thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.